So today we're going to be seeing how we can go to the case object, which is where all the insurance processes will be taking place from the contact page. And then we're also going to see how we can update different activities on an insurance process, just the way we do now in terms of logging activity. We're going to show you how this happens using this new process. So we'll get into the contact page. In this case, it's Mr. Jack Harmon. And we can see over here on the hyperlinks that we have a cases link. And currently, we see that he has one open case. And we're currently at the providing initial information stage. So let's go ahead and edit this case. So you can click edit, or you can click on the case number, and it brings you onto this case detail page. So right here you can see, well, he came in by phone. We've provided initial information, and he's indicated that he wants help with setting up his electronic application. So we've said that we've started that process with him. So in this case, if we wanted to log some activity, say, we also wanted to indicate that he came in on one of these days and gave us the required forms. We would come in, say we're now going to be here. I'm going to say yes, and when you indicate yes, remember to indicate which forms you got from him. So in this case, we say yes, we've collected forms. We can show which forms we've chosen. We can show that yes, we are helping him get started with his electronic application. And then we ask him if he wants to file for advanced tax credit and to apply for cost reduction. And he says, oh, give me a call in a couple of days. I want to be able to think about it. So what we do is we'll save. And again, the reason as to why we're on this status is because that's where we are in the process. So we've provided information, we've collected the required forms, we've set up the account profile, and now we're filing for advanced tax credit. So that's where we are right now. And we save. So for us to indicate any form of activity, what we need to do is go in under open activities. So we'll say new task, and was just the way it works right now. Let's say we're scheduling a call, and let's say we're scheduling the call for tomorrow. And you can see that this is already given a case number. So now you don't need to alter anything in this situation. So if you want a reminder, you can set it. But in this case, I'm just going to turn that off because it's just an example. And we save. If you want to put in more information so you know what it is you're talking about, you can edit and you can say, calling to talk about tax credit. And you save that. So we're back onto his case detail page. And in this case, we can see all the activity that we've had. We can see that we created the case. We've changed the status from providing information to filing for tax credit. And the status is really where you are with a contact in terms of the insurance process. And then here we can see that we have an open activity where we're scheduled to call Jack Herman tomorrow, which would be the 13th of December. So if, it's now the 13th, we can go in. And if we want to close this case history, remember to highlight his name. And this is where you would get all the phone number information. Click edit. So all we have to do is say it's completed. Remember, if you made a call, you have to indicate the type of call. So we called him. It was an outbound call. Indeed, we spoke with the contact. Here we can update what their decision is. Decision to file for tax credit. So we can click save as all that is completed. And so if we go back to his case number, it brings us to the case details. So now we can see that it goes straight into his activity history. And it's the same thing. We could have gone in through log a call and we could have filled in the same amount of information. Okay. So in this case, we'll click edit to update his case. And so when he thought about it, he said, yep, he wants to file for tax credit. And yes, he wants to apply for that. And so finally, when we go through the whole process with that, we determine his eligibility and we know what his plan is. So we'll say BMC HealthNet. And we finally know that, yep, indeed his application has been submitted. So status right here, we can completely jump over all the different steps because we can say we've gone through all those different processes with him. And what we need to do is now save and close. The only time you save and close, again, is when you're done with after the application has been submitted, sorry. And you can say what it is, if they're enrolled or if the insurance process has been abandoned. So save and close. Again, here we have to indicate none. So in this case, there was no paper application. And click on none again. There was no help desk application. And then we'll say he was enrolled. And so we just need to make sure that all of these options do have a value. So the last thing is to ask the individual, how confident do you feel in doing this yourself next year or re-enrolling next year? And you just put it on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not very confident, 5 being very confident. So this person is about a 4. And all we have to do is save. So now the person, we have indicated that, we've closed the case. The person is enrolled in an insurance plan. We know everything that's happened. We can see what happened in terms of their case, where they are in their case, in terms of, again, I'm going to use case and insurance process interchangeably. So where they are in the insurance process, and then we can see all the activity that's taken place.